Welcome to 360 Degrees Business Health Check. My name is Hilary. Today we are looking at a source of funding that is suitable for entrepreneurs or business people. I'll call it Lpo Financing or Local Purchase Order Financing. You know very well in business you need funds to support your supplies. So you need to take care of your working capital so that there's a smooth transition in your business. So in most cases, you'll find that there'll be need for cash. There'll be need for working capital so that you can move goods from point A to point B. So local purchase order financing is one of the short-term financing that is available for entrepreneurs from banks, some microfinance institutions, or some individuals who do it. Now, I want just to open up this source of funding to tell you how it works. The first thing, the source of funding is a short-term funding, meaning it has not been designed for long-term funding, which means the repayment period have not been designed to go for a year or after a year. In most cases, they do maximum 180 days. So it's a short-term source of funding. You might be asking yourself, how do I qualify? The most important thing about LPO financing is your clientele. Who's your clientele? The more you have credit-worthy clientele in your database, the more it's easier for you to access this type of funding, because the financier will look at where you are supplying rather than you. So you might be thinking that they'll do a credit review on your financials. They'll do a credit review on how you do business. They'll look at you as a company. But we have what we call the anchor. Anchors are parties that participate in a type of transaction. Like in this transaction, we'll have three people. You as the supplier, and then the client as the buyer, and then the financier. So what will make the transaction viable is your client, the buyer. And I call him the anchor, because if your anchor is weak, if your buyer is a weak buyer or unknown, or the people who are emerging in the market, your transaction won't proceed, because they'll keep looking at your transaction as a high-risk transaction, because LPO financing is one of the most risky source of funding, because some people will give you the credit facility unsecured, meaning you won't have to give collateral. They'll depend on the terms of the transaction, and in most cases they'll have to know when you're getting paid and then to secure themselves. However, others will prefer you to give them a source of collateral. The type of collateral here, they look at a collateral that is easily converted into cash, like motor vehicle, like shares or stocks. You'll find that most banks will shy away from doing this transaction, except you have a long-standing facility with them. So if a bank can look at your transaction, then you must be having a bank overdraft with them. So which means before you arrive at the transaction, you should have organized for an overdraft facility with your bank, and you can place land as collateral, property as collateral, heavyweight machinery as collateral, so that the facility is revolving. It may be expensive because you pay annual fees on it, you pay facility fee, and also you pay fee whenever you use it. So the best thing is to look for a financier who will understand the transaction, and they'll be able to charge you on usage rather than just paying a facility fee, whether you're using it or not. So I'll repeat myself, LPO financing, what makes it viable is when your client is well known, is a blue chip company, is the government, and these people that you call your client, we know their repayment period. We know that they pay within 60 days, they pay within 90 days. It is well known globally that they pay their suppliers in time. So your clientele will determine whether your financier will advance the cash to you. So that's all about LPO financing. And it must be a short-term type of transaction because it's a risky one. So they finance your local purchase orders. So if you've been awarded a contract, you've been awarded a local purchase order, you can approach your financier with that local purchase order and negotiate for a funding. So the rates will depend from one company to the other. Others will charge you a monthly fee of 8%, of 7%, 10%. Others can charge you a one-off, maybe 15%. So it will depend from one company to the other. So that's all concerning the local purchase order financing.